What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Killer Keemstar. Welcome to episode 41 of the BadKidCast. Look, this episode is brought to you by IRUE399. That's IRUE 399. This dude is the number one spot for your Grand Theft Auto shit. Are you a Grand Theft Auto fan? This dude is the dude making videos on that shit all the time, giving out news, letting you know about the new Grand Theft Auto 5 that's about to come up. This dude's about to blow up. Already has 44K subscribers, and I want you to go check him out if you're a big Grand Theft Auto fan, or maybe you're kind of thinking about maybe getting into the new Grand Theft Auto 5. Check him out. He's the dude. All right, so that link is in the description. And then our second sponsor comes from this dude, Colts and Cubs fan. That's COLTSANDCUBFAN. And this dude has a cool channel. It's really like this dude and his girlfriend playing a bunch of, like, he's a new YouTuber, but him and his girlfriend are playing a bunch of YouTube videos. Or, what the fuck? They're playing a bunch of weird video games, and it's a really entertaining channel, and you need to check him and his girlfriend out. That is Colts and Cubs fan. All right, let's play the fucking music. I'm stoned.
You are now watching another BadKidCast with Killer Keemstar and Only Use Me Blade.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You're like in the middle of the sentence. I am Killer Keemstar, and I'm here with
Only Use Me Blade.
And this is the BadKidCast. This is the audio cast that you listen to while you game. We're available on iTunes. Yeah, I thought you were going to jump in there.
I thought I was going to jump in there, but like it's like you're doing the double dutch right now, and I'm like, I don't want to quite get in there yet.
All right.
The water looks a little cold.
We're available on iTunes. And by the way, I've seen a bunch of your brand new reviews. Hilarious shit. I love you guys. Thank you for giving us reviews on iTunes. It's amazing. We have more reviews than Snapper Chat, believe it or not.
No shucks.
Why did you censor yourself?
Are we trying to reach the kiddies or no?
No, this is BadKidCast. We just say whatever the fuck we want.
All right,
yeah.
I don't know. Remember the first video, BadKidCast video that we did.
We're gonna get to that in 2 seconds. We're also available on Android and YouTube. Tell us about the first story.
The first episode. One fact that you probably totally forgot about is that we censored it.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh.
There were the fucks.
No. That wasn't the very first.
Very first.
No, it wasn't. It was the first one on BadKidPodcast.
No, first one on.
No.
What was it? It goes.
All right,
It goes. Went bad. What was it? It was bad.
Bad Kid Show.
Bad Kid Show.
Right, and then it got shut down while we were in Seattle, and we were like, "What the fuck?" Right?
Yeah.
So then when we got back, when you actually moved here, we made a new channel called BadKidPodcast, right? Mm-hmm. And the first episode, we censored all the swears because we were worried about getting shut down again.
Was the first comeback episode, was that the one when we were like partying in Seattle and then like Syndicate ran into the bus?
Yeah.
So that was the Bad Kid, what was it, Bad Kid Podcast?
That was the very first video on the BadKidPodcast, and we ended up censoring everything.
Yeah. And we did that because we thought it was like smart for potential sponsorships.
And that was like the worst video we made.
That was one of the greatest. Are you kidding me?
No. I don't mean worst in the sense of like not entertaining. I'm talking about like Syndicate fucking dove into a bus.
Yeah.
Like you puked on a waiter. Like it was you pissed on the fucking wall of the place. Like that was a really crazy one. I heard recently that you found all the footage.
Yeah. So I constantly have to delete files because I'm recording in like Super HD, you know? So I'm constantly deleting files. So I was like, you know what? This is bullshit. Like, I don't really have a ton of stuff on here. Let me look. And the first go around, I couldn't really find much. Like, I cleaned some stuff up. But then I like found some weird folder that has all of the old Bad Kid podcast footage when we were doing video shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like it took me back. Like not on, like there was the ones where I found the Thanksgiving episode.
I watched the episode where we went to Six Flags the other day.
Yeah.
Somebody linked it to me, and by the way, someone re-uploaded it in like fucking 360p. It was like horrible, but I watched it and I was like, this was great. Like this was better than I remember.
You guys have to understand something, okay? When he didn't fly me up here in order to do the Bad Kid show, okay? Or Bad Kid podcast, whatever. He didn't fly me up here to do that. He flew me up here to do a music video that you rushed edited to get up.
They love the music
video. They don't love it. I'm not even going to argue about that. But the thing is that the combination of the three of us, Scott as the cameraman, you and me doing the outside stuff, and then like the editing and production, like Scott would put like 30 hours into an episode.
Scott would, dude, I fucking miss Scott. Scott, I love you, man. I love you. I fucking love you. Come back. Come back home, baby. Come back home. No, it's just, the thing is...
We were watching an episode before we were going to upload it in Keem's basement, and there was this moment when we were all watching it like a movie, and I just told myself, that was the moment when I decided to
change your life.
Like, take a leap of faith, you know what I mean? And honestly, that was the moment, because... I was like, this is fucking really good. This is way better than me doing commentaries, but this is like way more entertaining and way better and higher production value.
We need to find someone in the Buffalo area. Now, the guy Kyle that set us up on iTunes, he actually volunteered to work for us this weekend and be cameraman. We should get back into it, but honestly, I don't know why I don't want to. Like, I just love doing these audio casts.
I know you love doing the audio casts, but I think the reason why you don't want to is because there's certain things that you've done in the past, and I think that there's this instinct in you that goes, if you try to recreate that, it's just not the same. It's like trying to get back with an old girlfriend after history.
Well, here's the thing, though. Remember when Scott left the first time?
Yep.
Remember how I fucking just would not stop? Like, we needed Scott back, right? Made some fucking horrible deals, whatever. Like, this isn't anything bashing Scott, but, like, I jumped through every loop I could, got Scott back for another round, right? And it eventually went sour. But the thing is like, when I have this vision to do something a certain way, it has to be done that certain way. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's really holding us back. It's not that I don't want to go out and do it with the video form and everything and have Kyle run the camera. It's not that. I think everything would work out fine. It's just like it's me, you, and Scott. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a good combination, but I don't think we could recreate it. I really don't. You know what I mean?
Not with someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's just stupid. Because...
And you guys don't understand. There is some biblical. This is how an episode of the Bad Kid podcast used to go when we used to go out filming somewhere, right? You may watch an episode and there's like 20, 30 minutes worth of footage. It was a good 4 or 5 hours of us arguing over shit.
Yeah, like...
And the thing was, I would always just play the background. I was like, whatever you guys want to do, let's do. And you and Scott would be butting heads the whole fucking time.
It would be like... It would be like I would fucking say something, right? Scott would be like, no, completely wrong. We're not doing it that way. Scott would say, we're doing something this way. Or I'd be like, no. And it was just like...
The thing is that you're like this adventurer, like just you have ideas but nothing to go through with it. And Scott would be like a realist about it, though.
No.
You would be we would have this long trail. You're like, Scott, can you like run with the steady cam and like do this crazy ass angle? And he's like, no, you want me to run 30 miles per hour backwards. I can't. It's physically impossible. And you're like, just do it. Just fucking try it. You know what I found? I found a picture. It's of me with a huge sword, you with a gun, and Scott in a cage.
That was the picture we needed for the video game that we were making.
Yeah. And by the way, you do know that when you were pitching that video game, you weren't pitching anything. You had
No, listen. This is what makes me so mad, right? Is, okay, you'll let me take the lead. If I have an idea and I want to fucking execute it, you'll let me fucking be boss and be like, look, Blade, we got to do this. This is how we got to do it. You're fine with that, which is perfect. It's perfect, right? Scott, on the other hand, questions everything. right? And you question everything too, but you give up in the argument. You're like, okay, this doesn't make sense what Keem's doing, but fuck it, just I'll do whatever. I'm sick of arguing, right?
Yeah,
And
I get tired of arguing real quick.
and we get shit done. If you gotta think about every single one of those podcasts that were made, right, was based on my crazy idea with no structure whatsoever.
But the thing is like I might have had some crazy ideas, but we would never be able to go through with them. You know what I mean? Actually, one of the first, I consider this a Bad Kid show episode. If you think about it, when I first got here, day one of me getting here, you're showing me the Segway.
Yeah.
And I say that would be cool if I took it through the McDonald's drive-through and we went and did it, and people loved it.
Yep.
I did a porno prank where I played porno in my car and went through drive-thrus.
It didn't work. Yeah.
It didn't really work.
Yeah. I want to do BadKidCast again, dude. I want to go outside.
You didn't even tell them. We're outside.
Oh yeah, we're outside right now.
That's like you just watch a James Bond movie in the first 15 minutes of action, then we finally say James Bond in this movie.
So basically, I wasn't. Let me explain to you what happened to me. Right? If you get disgusted by poop stories, turn this off or speed it forward 10 minutes. All right.
A 10-minute poop story.
I'm taking a shit. I'm taking a fucking shit.
This
right?
is getting good. Yes.
And I'm going to shit, and I'm like, oh man, this is that motherfucking turd that happens once every 3 years. That's a bitch to get the fuck out of your anus.
I'm not familiar with those turds.
You've never had a turd where you're like, oh my god, I feel like I'm giving birth.
But it's not based off rotations of the sun. It's just, I don't know, like once every 3 years.
Okay, basically what I meant to say is that it happens rarely. All right, I'm not saying that it's on a schedule, but
once every 12 trimesters, I pass a massive dump.
All right, so anyhow, I'm like, motherfucker. So I'm sitting there for like 10 minutes. I fucking pass it. I'm like, yes, right? Here comes another one. And I battled with this turd for 52 minutes. If it wasn't for my fucking bidet, I'd still be carrying that turd. It was horrible. It was the worst thing ever.
A 52-minute turd?
To the point that I was trying to convince myself that kidney stones can somehow get in your asshole.
Jesus. A 52-minute turd?
Yes!
That's crazy.
Yes, I couldn't fucking shit it out, and I finally did, and it was like, dude, I was sweating. It was ridiculous. It was like fucking labor. I don't know what labor's like, but...
Labor sounds horrible.
Fuck that
Like,
shit.
whenever you see someone and they have, like, 7 kids, I'm like, first off, if I do something and it hurts like hell, you know what I'm going to do? Never that again, okay?
It's so weird when, like, Melissa got fucking, like... had the baby, right? They did a C-section. They're like pulling her organs out, putting them off to the side, like grabbing the baby, pulling it out, putting the organs back in, sewing up. It's so weird, dude.
Oh my god, fuck that.
So
That's why I always find
weird.
it funny when girls talk about, oh, ow, that hurts. I'm like, you can pass a baby through there. Shut up.
They don't without drugs in modern day, though.
What if you were such a cockslayer that you had to give a girl drugs before you banged her? Like, listen, this is gonna hurt.
That'd be retarded.
Let's do some drugs.
That'd be a retarded. Anyhow,
I love this weather. Right now, it is rainy. We are in a forest. It is like a rainforest. It makes me feel like Seattle.
we're in a park and we're underneath a pavilion. There's a bird flying. It's raining gently. It's the same park that we filmed at the one time.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, what if we want to talk about something on the internet and look it up or whatever? Fuck that, dude. Like, this is the closest thing to us going out and doing the fucking real BKS that we set to do.
Yeah.
We need to get back there, dude.
Yeah.
We need to get back there. We need to get back there. You know, I just seen this documentary that I want to tell you about.
Is it King of Kong?
No, King of Kong is the greatest, though.
Yeah.
I seen King of Kong before you. What?
No, you didn't.
I saw that shit when it came out in theaters.
Okay, well, then you beat me. But why do you want to pull out that trump card like that?
No,
Why would you set me up to it for just to automatically trump that?
I was bullshitting anyways. I saw it on Netflix just like everyone else.
Oh.
But it came out on Netflix like in 2010, I think. And I was on Blog TV, and literally I was the like #1 person on Blog TV. So I would stream movies and shit. Like I'd have movie night on my channel. It was ridiculous.
That's super not legal. Like that can't be legit.
It's not legal, but they didn't give a fuck.
We got to get movie 43. You know what, dude? As soon as it's done with this podcast, you know what I got to do? It needs to be done. I have to pre-order a Xbox One.
I just broke this fucking rock.
I gotta pre-order Xbox One.
Yeah, I gotta do that too.
And also, I need to see if movie 43 is on the Blu-ray.
Why do you want it on Blu-ray?
Because, well, why would you want it on DVD?
Here's why, right? Blu-ray's the best. You get a nice Blu-ray collection, whatever. That's all great and dandy. But at the end of the day, sometimes you want to just sit there on your laptop. You know what I mean?
I don't have a laptop.
I
I have an iPad that I watch HBO Go and Showtime on the go, and it's awesome.
I do like my Blu-ray room, but I don't know.
But also, the reason why I want to get it on disc, right?
Yeah.
And one thing Netflix needs to do is they need to offer up the fucking special features of movies on the Netflix. If I watch a funny-ass movie, you know what I want to do after that movie? I want to watch the gag reel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like one of the first things I do after watching a comedy, but on Netflix they don't have that.
Dude, I just watched, this is why I was talking about Netflix. I just watched an amazing documentary called I Am. I Am. It's a documentary where the creator of Ace Ventura, the creator of like Bruce Almighty and all that
Have
shit.
you watched Ace Ventura recently?
No.
Okay, don't. I thought that movie was hilarious when I was a kid and watched it. It's stupid.
It's really dumb.
It's
yeah.
dumb.
But anyhow, he was riding his bike, right? And he got a concussion and basically had like all these suicidal thoughts,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't ending, and he was contemplating death, right? Like a year later, the symptoms finally went away. He was fine again, right? But because he was contemplating death so much, he wanted to know what life was about.
Okay.
So he grabbed like all these experts and got like all their opinion to try to figure out like what was wrong with the world.
Uh-huh.
And the world is basically set up, right, where it's survival of the fittest, right? You have the richest, the most powerful, the most influential people at the top, and then everyone else is pretty much a bottom feeder. And it's getting worse and worse and worse, and the middle class is getting smaller and or poorer, if you will, and the rich are getting like extremely rich, right? So he was trying to figure out like global warming, all this shit that we have, like why do we have these problems? And he asked all these experts, and the experts were like, look, you're taught like when you're a kid that competition is good. You're taught when you're a kid like survival of the fittest, like get in shape, be stronger, be smarter. You're taught all these things. But in like nature, it's not really ran that way. And what they did is they did this study where they were like fucking studying deer, right? And they assumed that the deer, there was like 3 different water holes. They assumed that the deer would all go to the water hole that the king buck, right, of the pack would go to. Well, after study of them like putting cameras in these trees and looking at these deer were like voting. So basically, like the deer, like let's say 10 of them looked at one watering hole, 10 of them looked at another, and 11 of them looked at the third one.
What was that?
11 of them looked at the third one, right? All the deer would be like, oh, well, 11 people want to go to this watering hole, would go to the third one.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like survival of the fitness. It wasn't like, I'm sorry. I've been up for a while. Let me get a drink. Fuck. It wasn't survival of the fittest. It wasn't like the supreme ruler that we have today with presidents and kings and monarchies, what we've had throughout history. It wasn't set up that way where a few people are at the top run everything. And they found this throughout human nature. And come to find out, basically, like, we're more democratic than we are survival of the fittest. We just have this teaching to be that way.
Okay.
So it's like in our DNA that we're connected throughout life and through every living thing, and we're all supposed to be working together. It's this basic sickness that we have. by trying to overpower and control and outperform and muscle those that are weaker. It's this weird fucking thing. They made this one reference. They said there was a tribe of Indians, right? There's a tribe of Indians. And these Indians had like 50 people, right? 10 people, 10 warriors would go out and like kill animals and bring them back, and they would split all the food up evenly so everyone had the same amount of food. Now this happened for thousands of years, these Indians all working together and being fair. One day, one of the Indians that goes out, biggest, strongest guy, he's like, you know what? I kill way more deer than the other guys. So I'm going to go up into this fucking cave up there, and I'm going to store a little extra meat for me, right? Well, when the other get hunting and gather and see this, right, they started doing it too. They were like, you know what? I'm going to start working for me, right? So the women and children and poor old people, right, they start suffering. They start starving. It doesn't matter. The whole society changed, right? And he goes, it's not a matter of fact that, like, this could have happened. This did happen. This is happening today because that's the fucking society that we live in. Now, just imagine, right?
Well, it's the same thing. That was their currency in a way, right? So we do the same thing with money now. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to live prosperously, if you want to do right, you kind of have to fuck other people over and declass people. I know that sounds fucked up.
I'm just wondering if it's really crazy because I'm a Republican.
Okay.
All right. So basically, by me saying that, I'm for small government, right? And I am for, the fucking economy. Like, I'm for, like, not taxing the shit out of rich people. Like, I'm all for that. But this whole documentary was all about the complete opposite ideology, right? This whole documentary was basically, like, proving in nature, like, communism and how it works better.
Yeah, but that's for animals, though.
No, it was like the whole message of the documentary was like we should be more like the animals. We should all work together.
To me that seems like backward progress. Like, we're evolving as humans. Why would we want to go down to animal level?
Because in our society, when there is a winner, right? When there is someone that creates a profit, there's the equal amount of loser out there.
Yeah.
Right? So it's checks and balances. So let's say you go and you win $1 million, or you start a company and you make $1 million, right? You've caused a lot of people to go broke.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what part of human evolution is. That's what it is. It's the idea that no one wants to be even. You want to be flush. You want to be good. Well, in order for you to be good, that means where's it got to come from? It's got to come from someone else. Just like if you play Call of Duty, people talk about a high KDR. If you have a high KDR, that means there's more people that have shitty KDRs. More people that are broke.
If you took all the money in the United States, right?
Yeah.
And you split it up evenly, right?
Everyone would be good for like a month, but then we'd be fucked.
I agree with you. But how much money do you think that is?
How much money would everyone, like in the U.S.?
If they took all the U.S. currency, all right?
Yeah.
All the property value, all the gold, every fucking thing that can be considered an asset, all the money, and distribute it out equally.
You would make the money obsolete. And I'll tell you why. If every single person has $50,000, like let's say what it is, because the rich people have like almost billions of dollars, so that's going to equal out to the poor people.
But
let's say about $50,000. If everyone has $50,000, then
you're saying that it would be $50,000. I think it would be way more than that. I think everyone would be getting like at least $1 million.
No.
Do you know how much money is out there?
I understand that there's a lot of money out there, but you know how many people are out there? The city of Seattle has over 1 million people in it.
I think there's 300 million. There's 300 million people in America.
So what are you saying the whole mass of wealth is for that?
I don't know. We have trillions of dollars in the United States. If you take 300 million people and divide that into $1 trillion, isn't that like a fucking $500,000 right there?
No. 3 million into a trillion?
If
that's
you,
that's 333.
Listen to me. I'm saying it wrong. If you were to take 300 million and divide that into a trillion. $333,000.
No, $333,000, yes.
Okay. Well, there's more than $1 trillion in the United States. There's probably more than $5 trillion in the United States. I think the United States is in debt like $7 million.
Or billion.
No, trillion.
Trillion?
Trillion. We're talking trillions. Step up from billion.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if you were to take all the fucking money in the United States, we'd all have more than $1 million in our bank accounts. Everyone would be treated equally. We'd have more than $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm. But the thing is that since we're all going to have this money, right? That's going to completely fuck up the value of that money. If you know that everyone had, are you still okay? If everyone got $300,000,
if everyone had $1 million, the prices of everything would go up.
Yeah,
you're correct.
Exactly.
You are correct. You're correct.
So there, and then no one. Here's the thing, though: if you have a whole society of people that have that much money, the people at the bottom that are living paycheck to paycheck, they make society run. Okay, if all of a sudden everyone's on vacation mode, it's not going to work.
It would be fucking good for a good, 100 years.
It wouldn't be good for 100 years.
Yeah, actually, if you think about it, because what would happen is a lot of foreign people would come in and be working for Americans. Here's another thing that you're not thinking about, right? Mm-hmm. We're in a world economy. If everybody in America got a couple $1 million, we could start all fucking companies that use labor all around the fucking world, and we would pretty much own the world. Everyone in America would own the rest of the world.
I don't think you're understanding the fact that if you did this, first off, you couldn't do this because the people that run the United States all are like billionaires, right? If you worked your whole life and accumulated $1 billion and then you found that we're going to do a whole refresh system and every single dollar is going to be distributed amongst fairly,
I know it could never happen. What I'm saying is, fairy tale imagine. I'm saying, this shit could never happen. It's not going to happen. And there's a million reasons why it's not going to happen. What you're describing right there is one of those reasons. What I'm saying is make believe that this did happen. What would be the response?
Well, you're asking me to give you realistic, real world hypothesis to a fictional thing. You're saying I want to live in this fantasy world for 10 minutes. Let me explain the story, and you're wanting me to explain to you why that doesn't work, and you're just saying it's fantasy?
No, what I'm saying is don't say about don't.
You gotta let me know the rules. How about that?
Here's the rules. Right? Everyone fucking wakes up in the morning. All right. They don't know anything about their past. They all have amnesia. Right? They know basic things like how to open a door, how to fucking use a microwave, what money's worth. They know all that stuff. Right? But they don't know who they were before and what they were worth before. They wake up. Right? Everyone has the same house, right?
Okay.
Everyone has $1 million in their bank account, over $1 million in their bank account. What is everyone going to do? Obviously, we know that some people are going to rise to the top because they have an education.
And they're going to collect
smarter,
all the houses, yeah.
And they're going to end up fucking taking, it's like Monopoly. It's like a fresh start at Monopoly. That's almost what we need now.
I don't think so. But here's the thing, though. Even if we get that, we're just going to repeat the same process. Everything happens, okay? I'll let you know one thing that's going to happen, okay? There's going to be people that realize, hey, someone figures out how to make fucking booze, right? They start drinking some booze. People start drinking their booze, and they realize, hey, this is a fucking market for this. Let me run it. You know what I mean? People are going to realize what drugs are needed. Booze, alcohol, cigarettes, all that kind of stuff.
I understand that, right? And it's going to start all over again. But we're at a point right now where America is no longer America, right? It's owned by politicians. Politicians run the fucking the rich and influence, like, run America. They own politicians.
But what I'm saying, though, is we know that. We see that. That's how it's always been. Every time we do a refresh, it might be that way for a certain amount of years, but then it always gets back to that same thing. The story's already been told. Why start fresh if we're just going to repeat the same process?
Well, it happened before. It happened in France, and they ended up killing all the rich people and distributing the wealth. And it eventually turned into the same situation that we have today.
Yeah.
Right? But there gets to a point where people are so fucking poor that they need to fucking, resort to crime.
Yeah.
Right? And the fucking middle class has not rose in the United States in income in such a long fucking time, where the rich have got super, super rich. We're almost at this stage now where, like, something like fucking, I don't even know, it was like 75% of some, like, one of these cities is on food stamps.
Probably Detroit.
Like, it's ridiculous. That is insane.
That, in a way, is a way to redistribute the wealth. Because think about it, the people. What you're saying there,
yeah,
is
but the problem is that these Republicans and Tea Party people have come in, and they've got so many tax cuts, right, that there's so much less money being collected as taxes, because the people that are making the money, the rich, they used to pay more in taxes than anyone else.
Yeah.
Right? Bush came in and changed that shit to 15%. So these motherfuckers playing the stock market, right? They used to pay at least 30%. Now they're paying 15%. GE Electric, right, had a profit of like $5 billion in like 2011. Do you know how much they paid in taxes?
How much?
0.
How do they get away with that?
Fucking tax loopholes, tax grants. Like, these motherfuckers made $5 billion. It wasn't shit to give a couple politicians like $10 million and fucking give them some grants so they didn't have to pay the taxes.
When you get to that level, you literally have to figure out ways to spend money. Think about that. Not, oh my God, what we're going to do. They literally, okay, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, everyone knows Coca-Cola, right? You go to anybody, they know Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola doesn't need to advertise, but they can for the fuck of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's
But I'm just saying, we're at a point right now where it's no longer a fair world. It's no longer like, oh, you're an American, you can be rich. No, you can't.
Yeah, you can if you do it. If you're willing to do things that the next person won't, yes, you can.
But here's the problem:
if you're willing to do things that the other person who's not going to be a millionaire is not willing to do, you just have to do fucked up things.
You know what the difference between you and someone in the inner city is?
What?
You know how to fucking read and write.
Okay.
There's so many motherfuckers in there's so many kids like in the inner cities that are growing up. They're going to public schools, right? There's not enough tax dollars to fund that school or for them to get a proper education. So they're coming out and they're fucking like, oh, well, everyone I know is on food stamps and fucking government assistance.
All right.
I'm just going to get on that train and like be a gangbanger or whatever the
fuck.
fuck.
Well, here's the thing. Let's say I give a chia pet or a garden. Let's say I give like a little starter garden, right? To a person that's in a wealthy area, a person that grows up with, I don't know, just a nice area, right?
Oh, okay.
And I give this to a 16-year-old in a wealthy, nice area, right?
Oh, okay.
And that person is going to grow it and manicure it and make sure that garden is A-okay, right?
Yep.
Then you give it to someone who doesn't give a shit. That garden is going to be crap and eventually it's just going to die, okay? Not every garden, not every chia pet fucking prospers and grows. I hate to compare human beings to this, but you're going to have some human beings that have a very, very good upbringing, you know, rich, wealthy parents that are going to teach them how to be rich and wealthy to their kids, and they're going to prosper, and that's how life is. And then there are people that are poor that are going to continue to have poor people. Every once in a while, someone sprouts out like a rose out of the fucking pavement in the ghetto, but for the most part, it's just a shitty garden. And I know that sucks, but some people weren't going to win no matter what. Some people weren't going to win no matter what. Some people are just going to have shitty lives. And I know that sucks, and if they're willing to do whatever they need to do, but probably not, it's probably just going to be a shitty life. It is how it is.
It's just a really shitty, like, time in America. And it's not, I don't want to be too negative because it's a great time in America, too. You know, we have the internet, everyone has access to education, and, you know, we're in a world economy, and there's so much great stuff about living now, but there's so much shitty stuff about living now. Like, back in the day, motherfuckers were all religious. They were nicer to each other. They weren't cunts. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's religious now. Now that everyone is smart enough to know that religion's just fucking stupid. And I know some people that are listening to this are probably religious, and I apologize, but I think that you're stupid. You probably think I'm going to hell, so it equals out. Checkmate.
Yeah.
All right, but more and more people are not religious. You know, back in the day, everybody went to church. I don't know anybody my age that still goes to church. No one.
Because we don't hang out with churchgoers.
Well, I'm just saying, like, people don't go to church anymore unless you're, like, in a real, like, non-educated part of the country, like the Deep South and, like, the Deep West. All those, like, stupid fucks, they go to church. And I'm not being I'm sorry. In the Northeast, we're smarter than everyone else.
Oh, my God.
I fucking go around the country. Now, I'm not talking about really, like, big cities like Seattle, right? I'm not fucking blasting you. I'm not talking about, like, California. But, well, actually, some parts of California. And there's some parts of New York, too. But at the end of the day, people that live in the Northeast have better test scores. It's a fucking proven fact that they're more intelligent, right? It's like they've tested all of America. People that live in the Northeast are smarter than you and work harder than you. It's a proven fact. Look up the stats.
I'm just going to say, from someone that's lived my whole life in the Northwest, in Washington, coming over here, most of you guys are assholes. Most of the New Yorkers, like 97% of the people that I meet here in New York are assholes.
But your whole city was based on, like, hippies and, like, fucking, like, hey, we have a .com. Let's put a fucking pool in the office. Like, that's, like, you live in a hippie city.
It's not a hippie city.
The whole West is like a fucking, like...
That's such a ridiculous generalization, though.
But it is. Like, look at the music that you have in Seattle. Look at, like, the fucking coffee shops. Like, it's a fucking hippie city. It is a hippie city.
Okay, well, when I think about hippies, I think about dirty campers. It's too fucking wet out there.
All around the world, people are completely different. All around the country, people are completely different. This started with me making a point, right, that people in the Northeast are smarter, because they are.
They're not, by the way.
They are. Like, there's
They're
test
not.
scores prove it. You can look it up. All right?
Who cares about test scores? Then the tests are easier out here than there.
Bullshit. All the, like, #1 colleges are over in the Northeast.
That's because it's been a tradition for years.
That's because
what
about
Yale and Yale's here, but what about like Stanford and shit like that? That's like a top school and it's in California. There's all kind. There's fucking.
But California is not is part of, like, this sounds stupid, but it is part of the Northeast. When I'm saying, like, the Northeast,
Hell the fuck is California?
That's why
Time out. Time out.
That's why I said it's stupid. That's why I
That is stupid.
That's why I said it's stupid.
That is definition of stupid.
When I'm saying the Northeast, I mean the Northeast. But there's an exception to this rule, and it's like it's like the West Coast, right?
Florida and Washington border each other.
No, I'm talking about the Northeast and the West Coast, right? For the most part, are intelligent, right? The big cities over there, right? Then you have the, like, center of the country with a bunch of fucking idiots, and the south of the country of, like, really big fucking retards.
See, that's
The
one.
people
That's
are
one thing
dumb.
the one thing about New Yorkers and Californians that I've noticed, and I might be sinking myself here, is that they feel that they're the two states, and all the states in the middle are the Midwest. Like, that's what they think it is. They think that there's New York and there's California. Everything else in the middle is just dumbtown.
It is dumbtown.
But you saying that California is part of the Northeast.
No, it's not part of the Northeast. You know what I meant. It like
No, I didn't. That's what I'm asking.
All right, well, let me describe this again, right? Because I just said it, and I'm sure.
Explain why New Yorkers are smarter and why you as a New Yorker think that California is part of the Northeast. And go.
Because everybody in the Northeast is smarter than everyone else in this fucking country, with the exception to California. That's what I meant.
That is the most ridiculous statement. That's what I'm talking about. It's from your point of view. Everyone in New York thinks that they're fucking smarter than everyone else. They're not.
Test scores prove it.
Your test scores. It means your tests are easier.
People can Google this shit right out now.
Okay. If you Google, are New Yorkers smarter than the rest of the country? The only people that are going to say that are people from New York. I'm sorry. I've lived in the West Coast my whole life, and then I just moved out here. After fucking talking to people out here, I realized that New Yorkers have this cocky attitude that they think they're the shit, and we just let them because we're not going to argue with them. Just like when I give up arguments all the time with you because I don't have the energy to fucking argue with you. So I just let you think you're right.
All right. Well, you can look that up, and you could probably do a fucking poll right now. We're not really assholes.
Yeah, you are.
Well, explain to me.
Explain to me why you guys are assholes?
Yeah.
Because I've lived in a city where we're realistic people, but we're not assholes. We're fucking kind to people, okay? I come up to New York, and assholism is celebrated up here. Assholism is seriously celebrated up here. You are a New Yorker. You are able to say with a straight face that because California carries some of the similar traits of the feeling of superiority, okay, I've said this before. The way that the rest of the world looks at the U.S. is the way that the rest of the U.S. looks at New York and California, okay?
Yeah.
You guys are cocky assholes that we just go, okay, we're not going to get through there. You guys are so fucking bullheaded that we're not going to get through your head.
Because we are the country.
That's what I'm saying. You honestly think that. If I give you a lie detector test right now, you would pass.
I'm not even from New York City, right? I actually, you know what? This is fucked up. I have been to New York City, but only in the airport. And I've lived in New York my whole fucking life.
Why don't you ever go to New York?
I don't know. I'd rather fucking... What's in New York? The same thing I see around everywhere, you know?
No. New York is... New York is New York. You have to kind of experience it.
I had no interest to go to New York City. One time I was going to go there for a Halo Reach release, and we didn't end up going.
You know what's awesome is D.C. I went on a class trip 1 week to D.C. and 1 week to New York. And D.C. is awesome. You can't see everything in D.C. in a week.
I saw everything in a fucking couple hours in D.C.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did.
You did not see everything you could see in D.C. in a couple hours.
I saw every monument that there was and, saw it firsthand in, a couple hours. Me and Melissa went out there because my game won some awards, fucking Fortress Craft.
Okay.
And we went out to a thing, and... this is how I ended up getting a Segway. We went on a Segway tour around Washington, D.C. We saw everything, right? And after that experience, I was like, fuck, I'm buying a Segway.
Okay.
But, yeah, I saw everything real fast.
You did not see everything in D.C., bro. There's so much shit to see in D.C. There's no way you could see it in a couple hours. Just because you fucking whizzed on your Segway past the Washington Monument doesn't mean you experienced D.C.
Isn't that fucked up that in Washington, D.C., they have some of the highest illiteracy rates, and it's
oh, it's ghetto. It's ghetto.
It's ghetto as fucking DC, and that's where all the fucking shit's being done. All the money's at, all the politics. It's so fucking ridiculous.
I saw everything in DC in 3 hours. No, you didn't.
I went to the White House. I went to the Washington Monument. I went to fucking. Saw Lincoln on the goddamn thing.
So you know who Al Roker is?
I think so. Oh yeah, he's the black news guy that lost a ton of weight.
He did lose a ton of weight. When he was losing a ton of weight, he was on after this surgery or whatever, he was on these pills, right? And these pills basically made him that when he needed to shit, right?
Wow.
So listen to this. Apparently in the White House, when you're in the thick of things, there are bathrooms, but it's not like there's a row of 30 bathrooms. There's a far way to go to the bathroom because everything's being videotaped, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Al Roker's in the middle of a political thing where he's handshaking and fucking kissing babies and all this shit, and then Al Roker has to shit. He has to shit bad.
Why was Al Roker kissing babies?
I don't know if he's. I'm just saying politician stuff. I don't know. He
All
wasn't
right.
kissing babies. Okay.
All right. He's the news guy, right?
He's the news guy, yeah. But he's like
The
talking.
morning guy, yeah.
He's talking to all these like political people, and shaking hands with
You know
everybody.
what's fucked up? They almost fired that guy because he lost a ton of weight. Isn't
Yeah,
that
no one
fucked
likes
up?
when someone's super heavy and they lose a lot of weight. People don't like them anymore.
Yeah, they almost fired that fucker, and then like a bunch of people like that was fucking awesome. You know how he did it, Atkins?
But listen to this. So he has to take a shit, right? It takes him. He basically takes him so long before he can get to a bathroom that he shits on himself, and he's wearing like a kind of a khaki dress pants or whatever. So he tried to clean it up, couldn't, had to toss out his dirty underwear and go the rest of the day commando style with a shitty ass. And he ended up telling the story on like a morning show or whatever.
Oh my god!
Isn't that crazy?
What? He didn't make it to the bathroom?
There was like only like one bathroom in this area that he was at, and it's like hard to get to because everything's recorded in the White House. I'm probably butchering the story. I apologize, but
He shit his pants.
he shit his pants.
Had
yeah.
to throw his like shitty pants.
He had to throw his shitty underwear away, but still tried to like clean up his pants that he did have.
Uh-huh.
And then like he was wearing a jacket, and so he basically just tried to make the jacket pull it down so it would cover his butt, so that people wouldn't see that he had big old shit stains on his pants.
But he stunk like shit. Like,
Probably.
I would have been like, look, dude, I shit myself. Can you find me a pair of pants?
Dude, you know what's crazy? When let's say for whatever reason your belt breaks and it's like midnight, you're shit out of luck. There's not really too many places you can go in a lot of places
to get a
a
belt?
belt.
Yeah.
There's lots of things that if happen at night, you're just fucked till the morning. Dude, I don't know. Like there's just crazy situations like that.
All kinds of craziness up in the world. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. And we are back.
So you had some time to think about what you've been talking about, and all you can come up with is that New Yorkers are smarter.
That's true. That is true. New York and London pretty much run the world.
I think that in any situation that you're always in a group of people, there's going to be certain people that rise up and are willing to be the asshole, and the nice people go, you know what, if you want to be the asshole, let him be the asshole, fine. He can run it.
Yeah, I guess. Dude, I've been on that Rust grind.
I don't get it.
Oh, it's the greatest game ever. It's the greatest game ever. You know what? You should fucking play Rust. You should go home and we should play Rust.
Okay.
You should go home, right? And I should teach you the ropes because I'm able to stream for like 9 hours straight and love every second of it. And tonight, me and my boy Sleepy were like fucking running shit, dude. We killed like 50 people nonstop before we died.
I could probably play Call of Duty for 10 minutes and kill 50 people.
It's way different. Kill is way more important than Rust. Rust is like, it's similar to World of Warcraft, kind of.
Which is supposed to be super addicting.
So it's like World of Warcraft, Minecraft, and DayZ all combined in one. It's about building up your character, but it's not nerdy like that. It's more just like making sure you have armor.
It's not nerdy like that because you're into it.
No,
people that play World of Warcraft don't think it's nerdy. They're into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's really not. Fuck, I gotta take a shit now. God damn it.
We are back.
No, we're not back. We had to take a break.
Keem just took a massive dump.
I wish.
How was that,
We
Keem?
gotta go back to the house now. Fuck.
How convenient.
My stomach is fucked up.
You're in nature. Take a shit out here.
No, I'm not taking a shit out here. I will say one thing though.
How many you got? If you guys think Keem just take a shit out here,
I gotta go now. Fuck, I gotta go.
nap time.
All right, we're back. Yeah. So basically, what happened is I took a lengthy dump, and we were gonna get back into the cast. We were gonna hammer out another 30 minutes, but we've both been up all night, and it's 10:30 in the morning. So
This is true. I don't even think I'm going to go to Best Buy. I think I'm just going to go get some water and go to sleep.
why were you supposed to go to Best Buy?
I want to pre-order the Xbox One so I have it when
Oh,
it comes
yeah.
out.
Yeah. Why do you do it at Best Buy?
It's the closest place.
Oh.
Like, the only other option is doing, like, a GameStop. I don't like GameStop. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can pre-order stuff like that.
Probably not. All right, so that is the end of the show. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Episode 41 of the BadKidCast. Kazam!
Peace and buckers.